What is up, guys? Welcome back to Bro Talk Sports. I've been excited for this week. Been talking to Luke a whole bunch about some of the stuff that has been happening this past week. Some big trades happening between some teams. Obviously, the NFL Combine and some surprises and disappointments coming out of the NFL Combine. So we're going to be talking a little bit about some of that. And Luke has put together a winners and losers sheet out of the NFL Combine for us. So super excited to see what he's got put together for us. So Luke, you got anything you want to say before we dive into your sheet here?
No, man, I think we should talk about some of those trades. Some of those trades were huge. I mean, the Chiefs and Rams trade I think was big. I think even this morning the Bears and the Bills trade I think was huge. I think that's going to help some teams there, maybe more than others. And I think some of those trades will help give some draft capital to some teams that might need a little bit more draft picks.
Yep.
So I think let's talk about some of those trades. I
Yep.
mean, what do you think about the Chiefs and the Rams trade? I believe the Chiefs the Chiefs sent the corner over to the Rams.
Yep. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier today, and like realistically, I feel like the Chiefs got jacked because like a round one 29 pick. I mean, you and I went through like the top 32 picks, and it's pretty slim pickings past like 24, right? Like there's not a lot that's going to be falling to them down there at 29 on that first round pick. I can tell you for sure they will not be picking up an all pro corner on that draft. It's very unlikely. And so and the rest of those picks, what were they all like fourth, fifth round picks,
Yeah,
right?
I believe the Rams sent a first round pick, a fifth round pick, a sixth round pick, and maybe a third next year.
Yeah. Yep.
I
So
think that's what I saw.
yeah, I don't know. I kind of wonder if the Chiefs are trying to line up something, something for this year with maybe a different, maybe working their way up on the draft picks, like trying to get a higher draft pick up. So maybe they're trading up and they're going to look to trade their current draft pick in 29 for something a little bit higher. That's the only thing I can think of is maybe they're trying to ensure that they get that running back out of Notre Dame, right? That
Yeah, it's Notre Dame. And to be
yeah,
honest with you, they after Jeremiah Love's combine, he's one of our winners. Like we thought
yeah,
that he was gonna fall to the Chiefs at 9 overall.
right.
But to be honest with you, he might go in the top 5 now.
Yes.
I've been seeing reports that the Cardinals at 3 might be interested in him. I've seen that the Titans are interested in him at 4.
Oh yeah.
And so who knows? Maybe you might be onto something. Maybe the Chiefs are trying to package some picks so that maybe they can move up
Yeah,
and try to sneak into that top
it's
5.
gonna be really interesting to see. I can't imagine that they just let go one of the best corners in the league for a 129 pick. It doesn't make any sense that they would do that. So they've got to be
Yeah,
working. They got to be working something else out. We're gonna find out here in the next week or two, I'm sure. So
kind of behind the scenes, right? They're
yeah,
working something out.
yeah,
And I mean, our last episode, we did a mock draft of all the teams, and it's like if we did a mock draft today, I mean, we're probably not going to have the same players going to the Rams because I
no,
believe the Rams are picking at like 13 or 14, and we
right,
had them taking a corner
yep,
because that's what they needed as a corner.
yep.
Now they have an All-Pro corner, so now that's not a huge need for him anymore.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, they got what they needed this year.
Yeah,
They got
so
an
I
all
mean
pro corner, and
that's not.
I looked it up, and I think he's 25 years old, right? So the guy's got at least probably another 5 or 6 years of good play in him, assuming there's no big injuries. If he stays healthy, they probably have got a lot of years in front of him with him at the corner. I mean, it could end up being really good for their organization. So
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, doing mock drafts, a couple months before the actual draft, it's fun and all, but things change so quick, especially when we hit into free agency and depending what teams pick up in free agency. I
hmm
mean, by the time we do our last mock draft, right before the draft, I mean, it could be totally different than our first mock draft. It's
yep,
it's going to be super fun and super fascinating to watch.
yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean, definitely there's going to be a lot of changes, even just with what we've seen in the trades this week. We know that there's going to be some stuff we're going to have to switch around for the next mock draft. So
Yeah. And so you think that the Rams won that trade? Is that
Big
it?
big time. Yeah. Unless the Chiefs are working some other deal to move their way up into a better pick on
Yeah,
first round.
yeah,
That's the only thing is if they're trying to get like more picks to bundle into a trade to another team for a higher pick.
yeah,
That's the only thing that I could see happening that would actually be in this case make the trade outcome equal. If they don't, if they their intention literally was just to take this first round 29 pick and then these garbage round picks. I'm not saying garbage. There's some great people that have come out of later rounds, so it's possible, but very unlikely. If they're just going for the picks, I don't know that they're going to get
yeah.
the value out of it. But if they're working on a trade up for something else, for maybe for another player or like I said for a higher round pick for round 1, it might be worth it.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I think for right now, the short term Rams definitely won that trade. It's hard to tell right now just because whatever player the Chiefs draft, even if they do draft, let's say they do package some picks and however they get into the top five, if that's what they're trying to do and they get Jeremiah Love, if Jeremiah Love doesn't pan out, like we're not going to know if the Chiefs actually won this trade until like
Yep,
maybe 3-4 years down the road. So I think
exactly.
short term right now the Rams for sure. I think they nailed
At,
this.
at face value, it definitely looks like
Hmm.
the Rams
Yeah.
won that trade. So,
Yeah.
what other trades this past week? Have you seen some other
I
big
think
ones?
I think the other one this morning was definitely draft altering trade as well because we had the Bills in our mock draft last week. We had them taking a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Well, they actually traded for a wide receiver this morning. They traded for DJ Moore of the Chicago Bears. What do you think about that trade?
I mean, I think it's a smart move. What do you think?
Yeah, I think DJ Moore, he is getting a little bit older. I think he's 29. He is getting a little older. I could be wrong on the age. I'm just guessing there. But he is getting a little bit long in the tooth. But one thing that Josh Allen needs is he needs more weapons. He needs more receivers to throw to. And DJ Moore, when he's healthy, he is. I mean, I wouldn't say he's like a top five receiver by any means,
Yeah.
but he is. He's a solid, a really good wide receiver,
Yeah.
and I think that that helps the Bills. I definitely think that trade helps the Bills for next
I
year.
mean, we talked about Josh Allen needing weapons. I mean, that was something we talked about, and like that just puts another weapon in the backfield for him. I just looked it up. He's 28 years old. I mean, he's still probably
28.
got.
Okay,
They still probably got another, at least 3 years they could
with the
milk
receiver,
out
at
of him.
least at least at least 4 years, I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
Typically 32, around 31, 32 is usually when you see like the drop off of receivers.
right,
But really 28, that's kind of in your prime.
right,
I mean, 20, 27, 28, 29. That's kind of your prime years of being a receiver. And
exactly.
especially with the quarterback like Josh Allen, one who's definitely a top five, maybe top three quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I think DJ Moore is gonna really like having Josh Allen as his quarterback.
yes, yeah. I do think so too. Like you said, as long as he stays healthy, that's the big thing,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Exactly. And then there was the trade. I want to say it was the end of last week. It was the Lions. They sent David Montgomery over to the
Yes.
Texans. What did you think of that trade? I know you were
I
texting me about that. So what do you think about that trade?
I mean, you thought it was. I got the feeling you thought that was a good trade. I don't know. I just feel like that mix with David Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs, like that, those two guys splitting touches in the backfield has just made their team a monster running team. I mean,
Yeah.
it looks like the Lions did, back in the day with Barry Sanders. I mean, you got these fantastic running backs, and you're not wearing one into the ground. And I don't know. I personally wondered what did they trade for even? I can't even remember.
So I
That's how,
believe I believe that they traded a fourth round pick and an offensive lineman to the Lions.
yeah.
I don't have it pulled up right in front of me, so I'm just going off memory, and that could be a little bit of skewed. But
That's the problem for me is like you've seen the impact that David Montgomery can have on a
yeah,
game.
I
Like
it's
that's how unmemorable the trade is. I can't even tell you what they traded him for. And
yeah,
that
I think, and David Montgomery, he's 29,
yeah,
so he is a little that's pretty long in the tooth
Yep.
for a running back.
Yep.
But he might have maybe one or maybe 2 good years
Couple more
left.
good years.
Maybe. I mean, running backs. It's so hard to tell with running backs because of wear and tear
Well, I mean,
on their body.
part of that is where he's been, right? Like
Hmm.
he hasn't been RB1 in every touch. I mean, he's been splitting touches with another great running back
Right.
that is
Right.
sharing the load with him. And I kind of feel like when you do that, your running backs tend to last a little bit longer when you're not putting as much wear on those tendons and those muscles and those joints. You know, when you're letting them split touches in that backfield, I don't know. I think he might actually have a couple more years than what you're expecting
Yeah,
personally.
possibly,
So,
yeah, because he really hasn't been, in his whole career, he's really been just kind of like a by committee running back.
yep.
He's very good. I mean,
Yes.
especially
Oh
short
man.
yardage
Oh
and
yeah.
goal line.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you hand him the ball at the 1 yard line, he's gonna score
It's
a
in.
touchdown 9 out of 10 times.
Yes. 100%. It's in. Yep. So yeah, I mean,
So,
I kind of, when I texted you, I was like, what are they thinking? Because like, I just feel like I don't know what the Lions are lining up, but like I feel like they're giving up half of this dominant split running game that they've had
mhm.
for like a measly fourth round pick and some line. I don't know. I didn't get it, but
Yeah. And at the same time, I understand why the Texans got David Montgomery. I mean, he's a good running back. He's
yeah,
very reliable. He's very good on like short yardage. But then they just traded an offensive tackle to the Browns a couple weeks ago, and then they just traded another tackle to the Lions.
mm-hmm,
And that's one thing that they need is I think in
yeah,
our mock drafts we had them going offensive line. I believe
yep,
at least we've talked about them
right,
needing an offensive lineman because they just need to get better on the offensive side of the ball because their defense is so stout already.
definitely.
So it'll be interesting to see kind of what they're thinking. Maybe they have some down roster linemen that has just really impressed them, and maybe they just want to give them a shot.
Yeah.
That I'm not sure. So it's going to be fascinating to see what the Texans are thinking there.
Right, like we won't know if these trades are wins or losses till like 4 or 5
Hmm.
weeks into the regular season next season.
Right.
Realistically, that's when we're gonna find out. As of now, we're just speculating.
Yeah.
But I don't
Exactly.
know. At first glance, I'm a big fan of that Jameer Gibbs David Montgomery split that's been happening, and so seeing that broken up,
Hmm.
it's kind of like when Stockton and Malone got split up, or Jordan
Yeah.
and Pippen got split up. Like I feel like they were the dynamic duo there in Detroit territory, and now it's not going to be that way. So I don't know.
I wish I had some friends that were Lions fans, or at least I wish I knew some people that were Lions
Yeah,
fans.
yeah,
I don't, because I really want to know what they think of the trade. Because, like you said, Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery, the last couple of years, they've been lethal. They've
yes.
probably been the best 1-2 punch for running backs in the NFL the last two
I
seasons.
can't think of a better team. I can't think of a better team for the past couple seasons than them when it comes to ground game
When it
like
comes
that.
to running back, I can't either. I
Yeah.
can't think of a better
I
tandem
mean,
either.
I mean,
So,
there's other individuals that have been really fantastic and really great, but none that
mhm.
have been like this duo where you'll have both of them go off in a single game and just shred it up. I mean, both of them will end up with touchdowns. Both of them end up with tons of yards. After initial contact, it's just been like this fantastic ground game, and it's the end of an era now. It's gonna see. No, I think what we're gonna see is Jameer Gibbs finally get the treatment that all the other running backs in the NFL get, and he's gonna get overworked
Mhm.
and he's gonna get hurt.
I mean,
So,
think about this, Leo. So Jameer Gibbs, he's like a top 10 pick in fantasy football, right?
yep.
And David Montgomery is probably like a seventh, eighth round pick, maybe
Hmm.
even a little bit higher than that.
Yeah.
But you get the same production out of both of them.
Yeah.
One is drafted in the first round, and one is drafted in the mid rounds,
Hmm.
and you're still getting the same production.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how good they were in Detroit together.
Yes. Exactly. Yep. So, and I mean,
Yeah.
I think part of that is them playing off of each other and the schema that they're playing in there. I mean, it worked for them exceptionally well. If you
Yeah.
gave me the pick, would I pick David Montgomery or Jameer? I 100% would pick Jameer Gibbs, right? Like,
Oh,
there's
100%.
no question about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just
Yeah.
kind of feels like we're breaking up this dynamic duo, and I don't know. It feels like the end of an era for the Lions. I don't. I mean,
Right.
I
Yeah.
still think they're gonna have a good team, but I just feel like the ground game. I don't know. You guys call me and watch it this next year. We'll see how it turns out. But I think that the Lions ground game is not going to be nearly as dominant as it has been. So
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. Unless they pick up a running back in the draft that we might not know about, and
Yeah,
maybe they could
maybe.
have another good tandem next year. But
Right.
as of right now, as of today on March 5th,
Yep.
yeah, the ground game definitely is not going to be as good for
Right.
sure.
What was their draft pick position? Do you remember where they were at?
They are drafting. I don't remember off the top of my head. I do not remember.
I think I've got it in front of me here.
I think it's like in like I think it's like 17 or something
Let's
like that.
take a look
18.
really quick. I'm gonna drop it into Edge, and we can look it up really quick here. Let's take a quick look. Um, let's see. It is. Where are you, Lions? 17. Yep.
17. Okay,
Been
I
pick
was right. Yeah, that's
17.
right. That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how, to be honest, there's not really a lot of I don't feel like there's a lot of like big run talent that's gonna fall to 17, but I guess we'll see. I don't know. It'll it'll be
As far as running backs, no.
yeah,
The best running back in the class is Jeremiah Love,
yeah,
and he's probably gonna go top five.
right.
If not top five, top 10 for sure. And then outside of that, I mean, there are some good running backs like Mike Washington. There's like Emmett Johnson, but those guys are probably going to be more second, third round guys.
Right.
And so maybe they could pick them up in the second or third round. But
Yeah.
yeah, in the first round, yeah, they definitely need to go a different direction.
Yeah. Yep.
Unless they somehow can swing a trade and move up into the top five and get Jeremiah Love. But why would they do that when they already have Jahmyr Gibbs?
Right.
They already have a number one running back. They just need like someone to complement him is what they need.
Yes.
And David Montgomery was the perfect complementary back to him because he was more of the short yardage back, whereas Jahmyr Gibbs was more of kind of your scat back,
Yeah.
the guy can catch out of the backfield, the guy that can
Yep.
take it to the house. Not saying that David Montgomery can't,
I mean, we
because
saw.
we've seen him,
Yeah,
we've seen him do that.
exactly. Yeah.
But it's different when Jahmyr Gibbs does it because Jahmyr Gibbs is they're just different running backs.
Right. Yep. Agreed. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we've dedicated a lot of time to the Lions.
Yeah, we did. We definitely have. Should we talk about some combine numbers or some
Yeah.
combine winners and losers?
Yeah, let's pull up some combine numbers here. Let me see
Yeah.
if I can get switched over to it.
So Leo, what do you think the purpose of the combine is? I mean, because NFL teams, I mean, they have all of the tape on all of these players that are coming out of college.
Yeah.
Why did they need to have the combine?
I mean, I think that it's kind of multifaceted. You know, we've seen them play in college, but I think one, it's like it's an initial screening before they you know, sign the big contract with the player. They want to make sure that these people are healthy. And
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of that they're figuring out. And then I I mean I mean, obviously, you want to see how strong they are, how fast they are, all of those
Mhm.
things. But I'm sure that there's more that goes on underneath that with the scouts. I'm sure that they're watching how these guys respond to people, how they interact with other people that are out there on the field, because all of those could be tells as to how they're going to interact with the team. I mean, we've seen enough drama queens that have come onto some of these teams in years past. I'm not going to say any names, but I'm sure you can think of some where, you know, we've had some players that, you know, potentially could have been absolute greats, but were just awful because of how they interacted with people. So I don't know. I feel like the combine kind of gives you
Yeah.
it
What
gives
about
you
Johnny Manziel?
Johnny Manziel. Yeah. I was thinking,
Yeah.
well, yeah, yeah, I won't say any names. But I'm thinking of a certain like wide receiver that just no matter what team he's on, he just
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, for sure.
been a nightmare. So
Yeah, but oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say. So we've got the winners and losers pulled up here,
Mhm.
and I don't know if we want to just go top down on these.
Yeah, I also wanted to mention another reason for the combine is there are some players out there that their tape is questionable, and NFL teams want to see how explosive they are, how athletic they are, and this is good opportunity for some of those down roster guys to really improve their draft stock to try to move up the draft. But then there's also those players where it's like NFL teams, for example, like Emmett Johnson, the running back out of Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
He is one heck of a running back, but there's some question marks about his longevity and about his stamina.
Yeah.
Like if he breaks one, is he going to be able to take it to the house like 50, 60 yards? Or are they going to catch up to him? Because
Yeah.
his tape is solid. His tape is phenomenal.
Yeah.
He almost had like 1,500 rushing yards in Nebraska
Wow.
this last season, which that is incredible.
That's phenomenal.
But there's question marks around if he has that stamina in order to take one to the house.
Yeah,
And
especially
the combine, especially the 40 time, will tell that.
yeah.
Because if he starts slowing down towards the end of the 40 time, he just getting tired.
Yep, exactly. Well, let's cruise really quick through these. I'm gonna
Let's
read them
do
off
it.
to you here. So again, Luke put this together. Thank you for spending the time putting this together. I love this block of stats here. So first up on the winners. Winners are on the top bracket. Losers are on the bottom bracket. Some of these are surprising us. Like, I mean, I was expecting Cassius Howell to be in the winners bracket, to be honest. I was not expecting him to be down there. So, and then some names up here in the winners bracket that I wasn't expecting either. So we're going to just start at the very top. Brennan Thompson out of Mississippi State, wide receiver. You've got him listed 4th round stock, college stats, 1,054 yards. His 40 time was a 4.26, which if you guys look at the 40 times on this sheet, I think it's the fastest 40 time, right?
Yes, it is on this sheet. Yes, it is the fastest 40 time.
Did
And
he
I
break the
believe
record?
he did not.
Oh,
No,
okay.
the record is I think 421.
Okay.
And that was by Xavier Worthy of the
Okay.
Chiefs.
Okay.
He broke it a few years ago.
Yeah.
But for a 4.26, that's fast.
Right.
I mean, that is like
Blazing.
really fast.
Yes.
That's blazing, yes.
Yep.
And so that's one reason why I had him as the winner. Right now, his draft projection under the draft stock, that's like where they're projected to go.
Yeah.
I do think that he helped his 4th round pick. I mean, he might go in the 3rd, he might go in the 2nd round just because he's fast.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
We've seen wide recievers go a lot higher than what their projection is based off of their 40 time.
Right.
A good wide receiver that did that was the Cincinnati Bengals. They drafted I think his last name's Ross. And he had like a 4.23 or 4.24 40.
Right.
It was like 7-8 years ago, and yeah, he got drafted in the top 10 because of that.
Yeah.
I don't think Brennan Thompson's going to be drafted in the top 10 by any means.
Right.
But could he go in the 3rd or the 2nd round just based off of this 40 time alone? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you could see on the right side of my sheet, I have the average 40 times for each position. And so at wide receiver, the average 40 time is a 4.52. And if you look at him, he's a 4.26.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just way above
Way
average.
above average. I think I've got a mistake on this sheet because we didn't have stats for his vertical and broad jump, right? I think I accidentally copied these. I'm gonna just scratch these out because these aren't supposed to be here. So just ignore those stats right there on him.
Yeah.
So.
And some of the ones that are blank, that just means that they didn't participate in that drill.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I also wanted to talk about Brennan Thompson didn't have a RAS score. But Leo, do you know what a RAS score is?
I have no idea. What is it?
Okay, that is athletic scoring for anybody who's watching. For anybody who doesn't know it, that is athletic scoring between. It's kind of like a scale between 0 and 10 athletic scoring. So if you score a 0, you like can't walk. You're like not athletic at all. And if you score a 10, you're like a freak athlete.
Okay. Nice.
So that's one thing I love. I love to look up RAS scores during the draft season because it's so fascinating to me. And a lot of these teams, it has been researched that the teams that draft based off of athleticism, those players usually pan out a lot better than the ones that aren't as athletic.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Sonny Styles, Ohio State linebacker. He's on our winner sheet.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Mid first round. This dude's a phenomenal, right?
Dude's a stud. He's a stud. I mean, he didn't rush the passer in college. he is so athletic. He could probably rush the passer. And if he can rush the passer, I mean, his draft stop, he's a top 5 pick. If he can rush the passer, I mean, really, he can go in the top 5
Yeah.
because he is that good. He had one of the best combines in the history of combines. Micah Parsons also had a good combine. I want to say it was back in 2021. But he didn't rush the passer either in college. And he went number 12 overall to the Cowboys. And then as soon as he started playing with the Cowboys, they started having him rush the passer, and he became one of the best pass rushers because he was so athletic,
Yeah.
because he was so fast, he was so explosive. Sonny Styles, he could do the same thing.
Yeah.
Him and Arvell Reese can.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Sonny Styles play this next year.
Yeah, so I think just based off of his combine alone, his mid first round, I think he's going to be a top 10 pick easy.
Yeah.
He might even slide into the top 5.
Right. Yep.
And his RAS score was a 9.99. I mean, that's almost 10. Like, so that kind of gives you kind of an idea on this dude's just a freak athlete.
Yeah.
He's just a freak.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, next up, we've got Dylan Thieneman. Am I saying that name? Thieneman?
Yeah,
Out of
yeah,
Oregon?
you are saying that right.
Second
with-
round, let's see, 4.35 40. His vertical was kind of mid-tier, 41.
41 inches, that's
pretty high.
really good.
Is it?
That's
Okay.
really good. Yeah, that's high. If you look at Sonny Styles, his vertical was 43.5. So he's only 2 inches below
Only 2
Sonny
inches below
Styles.
Sonny. Okay, nice.
40, yeah, if you're in the 40s, you're an athlete. You're jumping. That's pretty high.
See, I never whenever I watched combine recaps, I never really watched the stuff about vertical or broad jump or 3-cone split. I think a lot of people just pay attention to the 40 and they forget that these other things matter. And the reason that they matter, I mean, with the vertical, for example, if you're playing defense on a linebacker or as a safety, like he's going to be doing, or as a wide receiver, you've got to be able to go up and contend for those balls. And usually those guys that come down with them are the guys that have that higher vertical, right?
Yeah, they are. And it's testing for explosion. The broad jump and the vertical is really testing for like how strong your calves are.
Yeah.
Whereas the 3-cone split is really testing for like your change of direction.
Right.
Which kind of surprises me that not a lot of players really tested the 3-cone split anymore.
Yeah. I wonder why that is.
I don't know. That would be that's really fascinating. But Dylan Thieneman, I have him as listed as a second round projection. He might sneak into the end of the first round. I am very fascinated with him. A 4.35 for a safety. Yeah. That's pretty fast. He's an athlete. That's kind of like a corner. Like corners are typically your corners are the ones that are running a 4.35, right. And your safeties are usually a little bit slower because safeties are usually running downhill. They're not running with people.
Yeah.
So I mean, Thieneman, he could probably play corner.
Well, I mean, coming out of college with 96 tackles, I mean, that the guy might be a monster.
Yeah, and I saw
maybe end of first round. That would be exciting.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. This safety class is actually really good. Dylan Thieneman. If Dallas Cowboys draft him at 20, I think Dallas fans should be happy with that because I know that they need some safety help. I would be really happy with that. But really, I think he's going to go in the first round.
Right.
And he might even. I know I said that he might fall. He might slip into the end of the first round. Wouldn't surprise me at all if he went in the middle of the first round, like 16, 17. Gotcha. Wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Nice.
His tape's impressive. He nailed the combine.
Awesome.
So really, and I think the average for DB is a 4.53, and he ran a 4.35.
Wow. Yeah, so he's considerably faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice. All right, next up is David Bailey, I think, right?
Yeah, David Bailey. Out of Texas Tech.
Tech.
Yep, I have him as like his projection is a top 10. Whenever I look at, or at least whenever I scout or look at like defensive linemen, I always look for production first.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen so many defensive linemen come out that don't have any production in college, and then they never have. They're super athletic, but then they don't have any. It doesn't translate, and so
Right.
they don't have any. They don't have any production in the NFL. But if they have production, and even if they are an average athlete, they still have some production when they get to the NFL.
Yeah.
The thing with David Bailey is you've got both. You've got production, 14.5 sacks. That is a lot of sacks. And then he is an athlete. He ran a 4.5 40. I mean, the dude is like 270 pounds. He might not even be that. He might be closer to 250. I think he has 250. But still,
Still a big boy to be
4.5.
running a 4.5 40.
Yeah, that's still a big boy. And then his vertical was 35 inches. His broad jump was 10 feet 9 inches, and then his RAS score is a 9.67.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I think his projection is a top 10, but I think he's going to go in the top 5.
Oh,
I honestly do.
Really? Wow.
I mean, he might go second overall to the Jets.
Wow.
I mean, either him or Alvarez is going number 2, I think.
Right.
Yeah, so David Bailey, he's just a fun player, a super athlete, and he's got it's going to be really interesting to see to see where he's drafted.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Kenyon Sadiq. Am I saying that name right?
Oh
Kenyon
yeah,
Sadiq?
you're saying that right. Yeah.
Out of Oregon, tight end. You're thinking late first round.
Yeah, I was thinking late first round, but he might be middle of first round now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had 8 touchdowns at Oregon. He ran a 4.39 for a tight end.
Wow.
The average for a tight end is a 4.76.
That's crazy.
He is officially the fastest tight end ever to run the 40.
Oh, really?
It used to be 4.40.
Wow.
Yes.
Who do you know
He
who
ran-
held that one?
It was Vernon Davis.
Wow.
Yeah, Vernon Davis of the he was drafted by the Niners. He ran a 4.40.
That's
and
wild.
one thing that I like in tight ends is I like tight ends that are fast.
Yes.
Because the defenders that are typically guarding tight ends are safeties, and we've already talked about safeties not being as fast as corners.
Yeah.
And linebackers.
Yep.
And so they can separate real easy.
Yeah.
And so if you have a fast tight end, then they can separate and they can get open real quick. Hit him on a quick like short and like a 5 and in or a short and in.
Right.
Catch it, and then he might just break some tackles, and he's gonna be wide open all day long.
Yeah.
And he also his vertical was a 43.5.
Sheesh.
That's the second best ever for a tight end.
That's
and then his
wild.
broad jump was 11 feet 1 inch, and
Wow.
that is the second best for a tight end ever as well.
That's wild. That's crazy.
So I'm a big fan of Kenyon Sadiq. Big fan of him.
I'm excited to see where he ends up. All right, next
Yeah,
up,
me as well.
a big name, Jeremiah Love, Notre Dame. We're thinking top 10, had 1,372 yards in college. Wow. That's some big numbers.
And even the best part about that is his 40 was a 4.37. The average 40 for a running back is a 4.59.
Wow.
So a 4.37, that is really running it for a running back.
Right.
And yeah, I had him listed as top 10 because I think in our mock draft last week we had him go into the Chiefs at 9.
Yes.
I've been seeing reports that he might go as high as 3 to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I know the Titans are really interested in him as well at 4. And so I think just based off his 40 alone,
Yeah.
because he already has really good tape in college, so we already knew he was going to be top 10 pick.
Right.
And now based on his 40, I mean, he might go in the top 5.
Yep.
I mean, see, that just really changed kind of the way that we're thinking about the draft now, just because of the combine.
Yeah.
Because we did our mock draft before the combine. Now the combine happened, and we're just like really
Right.
just like thinking, and like our wheels are spinning here, just trying to figure this stuff out.
Exactly. Yep. All right. Next up is Spencer Fano out of Utah, offensive tackle. You're thinking mid first round for him.
Yeah, his 40 time, he ran a 4.91. He's a tackle.
As a tackle, that's yeah.
You ran a 4.91. Offensive lineman, I have the average is a 5.26.
Wow.
He ran a 4.91.
That's wild.
The dude is an athlete. And what you want for a tackle in the NFL is you want athletes, because you're having athletes, your edge rushers, they're athletes, and if you aren't athletic, they can either, if you aren't athletic and strong, they can either bull rush you or they can just run around you and you'll miss them and they'll get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
But Spencer Fano is an athlete, and I think that's going to help him in the NFL.
Hmm.
So I have him as a mid first round right now. That's his draft projection. I mean, he possibly could go in. I mean, he possibly could go in the top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be. I mean, there's a lot of players. So I mean, some of these players that we're talking about that might go in the top 10.
Right.
Some of these players they're just going to fall.
Right.
I mean, teams are going to be getting good players. I think in the up to pick 20, they're going to be getting some pretty elite players.
Agreed. All right, so next up is going to be Logan Jones out of Iowa.
This is your boy, man.
Yeah.
This is the one that you sent me a video of this guy running the 40 the other day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he ran the fastest 40 for an offensive lineman at the combine. He ran a 4.9.
Ooh.
That's booking
for a
it.
center. That's yeah, that's fast. What's the average for centers again?
I just did average offensive line combined.
Oh, okay.
And so it's a 5.26 for offensive linemen. So that's booking it.
Yeah.
And then he's one that also ran the 3-cone split, and that tests a change of direction.
Yep.
And he got a 7.46, which that is the best on the list.
Wow.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah. And his RAS score is a 9.66.
And you're still thinking round 2 to 4 for him, huh?
That's his projection.
Okay.
And so I think based off of the combine, I think that he is definitely going to be a solid second round pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a solid second round pick. I had 2 to 4 in there because that's kind of where all these projections on the draft stock, they're just like projections on where they've been going based off of the mock drafts that have already been done by the analysts.
Yes.
And so everybody's been having him go in between. The highest is the second round, the lowest is the fourth round, so he's somewhere in between there.
Right.
I think he's going to be a solid second round.
Gotcha. Nice. All right, next up is going to be Monroe Freeling. Is that how you say this name?
Yeah, Monroe Freeling.
Out of Georgia, offensive tackle. You're saying second round?
Yeah, I think, before the combine, I think he was projected to go in the second round. After the combine, it wouldn't surprise me if he goes in the end of the first round.
Yeah, look at that 40 time, 4.93
for a tackle.
Offensive tackle. Sheesh.
And I didn't put like his arm length on here, but he has some long arms too.
Does he? Nice.
Yeah, and his RAS score was a 9.99. Dude's a freak.
Look at that.
Dude's a freak.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I think that Monroe Freeling, I just think he nailed the combine. And I think he's going to go in probably the end of the first round.
Nice. Okay, next up, Mike Washington out of Arkansas, running back. You're estimating third round for Mike Washington.
Yeah, and Mike Washington, to be honest with you, he might have helped his draft stock more than anybody outside of maybe Brennan Thompson.
Yeah.
Because he has production. 1,070 yards in college. That's a lot of yards.
That is a lot of yards.
His 40 time was a 4.33.
Wow.
So I think he was the fastest 40 out of running backs. He might have been. I think he was definitely top 3.
Wow.
40 time overall. His vertical is 39 inches. And then his broad jump was 10 feet 8 inches. And I want to say that he's over 6 feet tall. I want to say that there's only been one other running back over 6 feet tall until this year that has ran a 40 time faster than a 4.4.
Really?
And this year we have 2.
Wow.
We have Jeremiah Love and Mike Washington. Both are over 6 feet tall, and they ran under a 4.4.
Wow.
I don't know who the other one was. I was just reading it the other day. So,
yeah.
But and his RAS score 10. He got a perfect score.
Oh my gosh. Look at that.
And I mean, it's been the question mark. Like, it's been the question, who is going to be the number 2 running back off the board after Jeremiah Love.
Right.
A lot of people had Emmett Johnson,
Yeah.
but if you can look, I have Emmett Johnson as a loser.
Yeah.
It was between Emmett Johnson and Mike Washington.
Yeah.
I think Mike Washington is going to be the second running back off the board.
Wow. That's crazy. How do they score the RAS score? How does that work?
I think it's just a combination off of their combine.
Okay.
I just think they just do a combination of that. I don't know personally, but I know whenever you look at the RAS score, and you look at on the sheet, it has their broad jump on there, their vertical on there,
Right.
and it has it color coded. So green is elite, red is bad.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I think that they do it basically kind of like a combination of the combine drills.
All right, we're on to our losers here.
Yes, we are.
Starting at the top of our losers list. And the first is Malachi Fields out of Notre Dame, wide receiver, estimated draft stock 3rd round.
Yeah, it was a 3rd round. I don't know. He might be more of the 5th round now. I mean, he might stay at 3rd round, but here's the thing with Malachi Fields. He needed to have a good combine. Because if you look at his yards in college, he only had 630 yards in college. But then if you look at his 40 time, it was a 4.61. And that's well below the average for a wide receiver.
Yeah.
So he's really slow. His RAS score is an 8.22, which that's not terrible, but you kind of want him to be more in like the 9 range. And so I do think that he's one that really needed to have a good combine, and he just didn't have it. Now, maybe at his pro day, when he works out for scouts for NFL teams at Notre Dame University, maybe he can improve that. Who knows? I mean, he could have been nervous. Maybe that's why he ran that slow, or maybe that's just how fast he runs.
Or maybe he had the flu. You don't know. Right?
Maybe he was just nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, because nerves can play a part in this too.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So, but he just didn't have a good combine, and I just think he hurt his draft stock.
Yeah. All right, next up.
Yeah.
And this one's the one that's surprising. Emmett Johnson out of Nebraska.
Big time. 1,451 yards in college. That's a lot of production. Having him as a 3rd round pick, I do still think he's probably going to go somewhere in the 3rd round. I don't think it's going to hurt his draft stock too much because his tape is that good.
Yeah.
It's just the questions about him was like stamina. Can he take one to the house 50, 60 yards?
Yep.
And if you look at his 40 time, he ran a 4.56. That is just right below average. With running backs, you kind of want them somewhere in like the 4.4s, 4.45.
Yeah.
And so I think he just got tired when he was running the 40.
Yeah.
And then if you look at his RAS score,
that's what sticks out to me is the RAS
5.85. He's not an athlete, and so that's not good. 5.85 is not good.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt his draft stock.
Yeah. So that's a good. He's got good tape though. He's got really good tape. So it will be interesting.
And
really fascinating.
And good production out of college too, right? I mean,
and good production exactly.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be really interesting to see where he goes. Yeah. I can't wait for him to get drafted just to kind of see if he does go in the 3rd round or if he does go lower than that.
Right.
I can't imagine him going in the 2nd round.
Yeah. All right. Next.
But who knows?
Next loser up, Lee Hunter out of Texas Tech. Defensive tackle, draft stock 2nd round.
Yeah, I think this guy hurt his draft stock more than probably anybody in the losers, or at least at the combine.
Yeah.
He's got some 1st round buzz. There's been some mock drafts where he's been going in the 1st round, like the end of the 1st round. And then there's been a lot of him going in the 2nd round. So he had pretty decent production. He had 10.5 tackles for loss. I didn't put sacks in there because he only had 2 sacks in his last year in college. But he's a nose tackle.
Yeah.
So he's there to stop the run. He's not there to get sacks. So he got 10.5 tackles for loss, which is really good for a nose tackle. But then if you go over and look at his RAS score, he had a 3.72.
Wow.
That's like unbelievable.
Well, and his 40 time too. I mean, I know
It's
it's near the average for the line, but not compared to the other people that were in his class, right?
let's see for yeah for D line, the average for D line is a 4.94, and he got a
Yeah.
5.18.
Wow.
That's well below average.
Right.
And then if you look at his vertical, he only jumped 21 inches.
21 inches. Wow.
I mean, that's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but that's not good.
I mean, he's not going to be batting anybody's balls down, that's for sure.
No, he's not. But I mean, and here's the thing: even if they're on the losers, I mean, there's plenty of losers over the years that have been on lots of losers lists because of the combine that turn out to have really decent NFL careers.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of winners on the combine that turn out to be duds.
Yep.
So, but we go off kind of what we know right now.
Right.
And what we know right now is he had really good tackle for loss. He was a really good run stuffer in college at Texas Tech. But he's just a terrible athlete, and terrible athletes typically don't go in the second round.
Right. Yep.
So he's probably gonna fall. It wouldn't surprise me if, based off of this alone, if he falls to the 5th or 6th round.
Yep. All right. Well, let's talk another projected draft stock second rounder that lost in the NFL Combine. LT Overton out of Alabama.
Yeah, have him projected as a second round. He had 4 sacks in college.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for a defensive end, 4 sacks, that's not a lot of production.
No.
That definitely does worry me.
Especially if you compare it to like the next 2 people that you got in the line there for Cassius and Ruben.
Mm-hmm.
You know, both those guys had 9+ sacks over the course of their careers, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's not just the course of their careers. That's a season. That's their last season.
Okay.
This is their last season.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, and then his 40 time, it was kind of around average.
Mm-hmm.
And so the reason I have him on the losers, because he was getting a lot of buzz of being a second round pick. A lot of people were really liking him.
Yep.
But I think he could have done better at the combine to help his draft stock.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, well, the other thing is he only participated in the 40.
Exactly.
Out of these, I'm sure that he participated in some other things. I'm sure he sat on the bench and ran some reps, but out of the other stuff, he didn't do anything. All he did was run a 40, a mid-tier 40, right?
Yeah, 4.87. I think defensive line, it was a 4.94, so he was right around average. I would just say that's basically average.
Yeah, I'm just mid-tier.
Yeah, and I think in order to help his draft stock, he would have to be. I mean, look at Cassius Howell, the one right below him, 4.59.
Yeah,
and they play the same position.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. And a lot of people are going to be like, if he ran a 4.59 and he had production in college, why are you having him as a loser?
Right.
And I can tell you why. It's because teams value arm length. They value arm length for offensive tackles. Typically, your offensive tackles that were played offensive tackle in college, they have longer arms. They typically, NFL teams move them into guard because they have shorter arms.
Yeah.
Well, the same thing for defensive end. Teams value arm length. They want someone around like 32-inch arm length because that helps you to get off blocks.
Right.
And it helps you as a pass rusher.
Yep.
Or if you have short arms, it's a more, you can still get to the pass rusher, but it's not as easy.
Yeah.
You kind of have more of an advantage if you have longer arms.
Right.
But I know I have him as a loser. I still think Cassius Howell is going to be a first round pick.
Do you? Okay.
Whenever I evaluate anybody in college, I look at production first. And if you have production in college, that doesn't always translate to the NFL, but you're more likely to translate to the NFL if you have production than if you don't have production.
Right.
So like Overton only has 4 sacks.
Yep.
That's not a whole lot of production, and so you don't really see guys at 4 sacks come in the NFL and all of a sudden have 12 sacks.
Right. And I don't think that you didn't necessarily put this losers list in like an order of like the best to worst losers.
No.
So it's not like Cassius Howell being at the bottom of this. He realistically probably should be somewhere near the top of this losers list.
Yeah.
Because we still think he's probably going to do well in the draft. But
I think he's just, his tape is too good in college.
Yeah.
I mean, and you can see that he's an athlete.
Yeah.
So even though he has short arms, I think the key what I look for when you have short arms is look at the 40 time. If you're
Mm-hmm.
fast, because if you're a defensive end, you're going up against offensive tackles in the NFL
Yep.
that are probably athletes and that probably have 33 to 34-inch arms. So they have
Right.
long arms.
Yep.
And so in order to beat them, is you're not going to be able to bull rush them because they have longer arms because they have more of an advantage.
Yeah.
But where you can beat them is off the ball, explosion off the ball,
Yeah.
and by speed by going around them.
Yeah. All right, we're on to the last person then, since we just kind of segued on to Cassius, and that is Ruben Bain Jr. out of Miami.
Yeah, I still think that he's going to go in the top 10. I've had him as a loser because he has short arms as well.
Yeah.
Because teams really value the short arms. But his tape is so good at University of Miami his senior year. In the playoffs, I watched him a lot in the playoffs this last year. And he was dominant. I mean, he played better than some of the Ohio State guys, than
Right.
Auburn Reese and Sonny Styles.
Yep.
I mean, he was just outstanding. But here's the thing: he didn't work out at all.
Yeah.
So it's like I wish he would have worked out a little bit so we could see at least kind of how
See a little
explosive he is
Yeah.
and how athletic he is.
So he didn't even run a 40 either.
No, he didn't run a 40
Wow.
at all. And so I think that that's why I have him as a loser.
Hmm.
And so I mean, could he drop? Sure. But if he does drop, he's not going to drop past maybe pick 12, pick 13,
Yeah.
pick 14.
Right.
He's not going to drop very far.
Well,
but I honestly still think he's going to be a top 10 pick.
I kind of wonder if there's like a little diva aspect with some of these guys where they know that that they're valued in the draft, and they just don't care. You know, there's definitely like, you know, Jeremiah didn't participate in the vertical or the 3-cone, and I don't think that it's going to matter for him, right? Because
not with Jeremiah. It's not going to matter for him at all.
Yeah, and I kind of wonder if it's the same thing with Ruben Bain. I think you know, he just knows that his draft stock is so good that I don't know. I kind of wonder, like, the, you know, the game that those guys play with, that if they, you know, if they're projected to be like top 10, top 20, like, why risk doing stuff at the combine that could hurt your draft stock? Like, you know what? So I kind of wonder if, you know, some of these people that didn't participate in some of these combine activities, that's the reason why they don't do it, maybe intentionally, because, you know, it's just, you know, one bad run or one bad jump, and you're judged for the rest of the draft off of that, you know, that one day. So
big time, and that's happened before.
Yep.
I mean, it has happened before. And then the corner out of Tennessee, he didn't play all last year. He tore his ACL at the beginning of last year. I think he even did it like before the season started. So he didn't play it all last year. His last name's McCoy. I think it's Jeremy McCoy.
Yeah.
And he didn't work out at all. He said he wasn't ready, but he's one that needed to work out because he's projected to be like a top 20 pick. And now teams are worried because they're like, shoot, if you don't work out, is there something wrong?
Right.
Did you have a setback?
Right.
Are you not fully healed?
Yeah.
Are you ever going to be fully healed? Because he had surgery like it was like 10 months ago.
Oh wow.
So it's like he should be back and working out.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Well, and then who was the other person that we ended up finding out had a bunch of injuries kind of pending and lined up?
Yeah, Ohio State, Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
He had a torn meniscus and then a degenerative knee, ACL.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be so awful, like, to, you know, to come up in on that and then find out that you got all this stuff kind of pending and like almost end your career before it even begins, because
so
it's
Caleb Downs,
it's a gamble with him.
Caleb Downs, he's projected to be like a top 10 pick,
right?
Because of this, he might actually fall.
Yeah,
I don't think he's so good. I don't think he's gonna fall past into the 20s, into the mid-teens.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if he still went in the top 10.
Yeah.
But we've seen players before fall because they're flagged at the combine for injury issues. I mean, look at Will Johnson last year, the corner for the Arizona Cardinals. He was projected to be a first-round pick,
right?
And then they flagged something with him at the combine,
Wow.
and he fell all the way to the second round.
That's crazy.
But then when he played in the NFL, then he was good.
Yeah.
I mean, really good.
Yeah.
So he's definitely a first round talent, but he fell just because there's a lot of unknown there with teams, and I think
Right.
it kind of scares teams off.
It does, yeah, when there's some injuries, there's no question
Hmm.
about it.
Yeah,
All right, well
yeah. So
that's our full winners and losers list for the NFL Combine. If you guys watched this video and you guys saw any of those Combine clips, link them in the chat to this video. We'd love to watch them. If there was somebody that did something impressive, if you guys saw one of those record-breaking runs or bench presses, comment and let us know what it was that you guys saw and who it was. Excited to hear from you guys. Love to know your guys' thoughts on the NFL Combine. If you guys have been watching it, or if you guys are going to be watching the NFL Draft, we're here every Thursday night, starting at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, just hanging out and talking sports with you guys. So hit the subscribe button. If you hit the little bell and hit notify, it'll actually pop a little notification up on your phone, let you know when we go live on Thursday nights. So hit subscribe, hit that bell, and hit notify all. And until next time, we'll catch you guys next Thursday.
yeah, peace out, guys. Come and yeah, talk some sports with us. We love talking sports, and we love hearing your comments, and we love chatting with you.
All right, we'll see you guys next.